Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorama mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Lord Krishna, the son of Vasudeva Devaki, who gave immense joy to Devaki, the spiritual teacher of the mankind. We shall pray to him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. Lord Krishna is teaching Bhagavad Gita to his most beloved disciple Arjun, who was down with great depression. He was greatly confused about his way, his duties to be performed at the war field. He thought he might incur sin by killing people in the war. Lord Krishna first gives him the knowledge of the Atman, the Self. Afterwards he gives further message of how to perform duties, what are the ways and means of realizing the divine, to get rid of this transmigration of birth and death. We are studying chapter 2, the Yoga of Wisdom, verse number 30. It says, Dehi nityam avadhyoyam Dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. Shri Krishna points out to Arjuna in various ways how he should not grieve over the things to happen. And he makes him sure that the entity is not really being killed. So the meaning of this verse is that this self, the indweller of the body of each person, is ever indestructible. Therefore, it is not proper for you to grieve for all these persons. In every body there is an indweller. He is called the Jiva, the embodied being. He is encased in the body. He is endowed with senses, body-mind complex. So the Jiva or the entity is Atman only, but attached to a body. The Jiva uses the body to interact with the world outside. Why should it do that? It's all the play of Maya, which cannot be understood. And each one is propelled by one's own deeds which makes the entity to take different bodies to enjoy the reap of the deeds which the entity has done in his previous life. The indweller Atman is Sat and therefore Nitya, meaning it is not subject to birth and death or any other modification. Therefore, there can never be any destruction to the jiva. Nityam avadhya, that's the meaning. He cannot be destroyed. The body in which the jiva dwells, however, is subject to destruction. Death is the ultimate destiny of the body. But the indweller is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. The body may be destroyed, but the indwelling Atman takes another body. So really there is no death to the soul. So the indweller Atman is called Sat, whereas the body is Asat and therefore Anitya. That means it is subject to birth, death and other modifications. One should clearly understand that body is always destructible. Not even a part of it is indestructible. Whereas the indweller, which is the awareness pervading the body, is completely indestructible. Not even a part of it is destructible. Therefore Lord Krishna says, Arjun, you are not the body, you are the entity, the jiva, which is the awareness that pervades your body. The body dies, but there is no death to the awareness. Awareness continues to exist even after the death of the body. Since the real person, which is the indwelling awareness, does not die when the body dies, where is the necessity for you to mourn the death of Bhishma, Drona and others? Then Lord Krishna tells Arjun about the duties of a Kshatriya. Everyone has got its duty to perform. It is only by performing the duty one's heart becomes purified, then only he can raise himself to spiritual level. So verse number 31, Swadharmapi chavekshya na vikampitum arhasi dharmyadi yuddhachreyo nyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. And considering your own dharma also, Arjun, it is not proper for you to hesitate to fight, because there is nothing better for a Kshatriya other than fighting a righteous war. You are fighting the evil. So Arjun became alert. Lord Krishna says, well, this war is about to be started. Not for cementing friendships and protecting relationships, but to hold equity, justice, and similar principles of dharma. You are a Kshatriya, a soldier, and a crown prince. Your duty, Swadharma, is to uphold law and order, administer and protect your kingdom. A Kshatriya should not hesitate to perform his Kshatriya dharma. Therefore, overcome all dithering hesitation, self-pity and faintness of heart, and get ready to fight with your characteristic fervor and enthusiasm. You said a while ago that you do not see any good in this war. That's not true. This is a dharma yuddha. Its purpose is to uphold dharma and punish those who violated dharma. This war is being waged in support of dharma, which is why it is good for you to fight this war. Fighting is your dharma. Therefore, there is no room for any hesitancy, on your part for doing what has to be done. You have only one option, and that is to fight. There can be nothing more noble for a Kshatriya than fighting in a righteous war and upholding dharma. Yadrichaya chopapannam swargadvaram apavrutam sukinaha kshatriya partha labhante yuddhamidrisham. Fortunate certainly are the Kshatriyas, Arjun, who are called to fight in such a battle that comes unsought as an open gate to heaven. It is a sacred duty of a Kshatriya to defend the weak, women, children, his nation, and the principles of dharma. These are important values for a Kshatriya, and it would be considered an inexcusable dereliction of duty if he fails to defend them. In this war, Adharma has taken up arms and is ready and anxious to defeat dharma. If Arjun does not take up arms against Adharma, the society is not only being denied equity and justice, but also morality, and Arjun himself stands to lose all his glorious reputation as a defender of dharma. Not only his enemies, but the entire world would say that Arjun is a dishonest and cowardly person who ran away from the battlefield, neglecting his obligatory duty to fight a righteous war. Hence Lord Krishna says, Arjun, come out of your depression and uphold dharma, as well as your own reputation by fighting this war. You can get rid of your sorrow only by fighting, not by running away from the battlefield. Your own interest lies in fighting this war, certainly not in renouncing it. Any war fought by a Kshatriya in support of dharma throws open the gates of heaven for him. It's a rare opportunity for any Kshatriya to be able to participate in a righteous war of this type. You are indeed a very fortunate Kshatriya, to whom this rare opportunity has come on its own. What is good for you is right in front of you. Recognize it as such and don't let go this heaven-sent opportunity. Atache tvamim dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi tata swadharmam kirtincha hitva papam avapsyasi. But if you don't fight when it is your duty to do so, you lose your honor. Not only that, you incur sin. The Lord says, Arjun, this is a righteous war, and it is your sacred and obligatory duty to fight this war, no matter what the consequences are. If you refuse to engage in this battle, however, I have to tell you that you are neglecting your swadharma, and therefore you incur sin. If you run away from the battlefield, Arjun, you lose your honor and reputation as a great warrior, which is an irreparable loss for you. It is impossible for you to live in peace with yourself afterwards. Fear of sin is one of the arguments you advanced for not fighting this war. Arjun, you are hereby advised that you incur sin not by remaining in the battlefield and fighting in support of dharma, but by running away from the battlefield and abandoning your dharma. Akirtinchapi bhutani katayishyanti te vyayam sambhavitasya cha kirtar maranad virichyate. The world also will ever hold you in reprobation. To the honored, disrepute is surely worse than death. For someone who had no name or fame, there would be no problem if he ran away from the battlefield. No one would really care whether he remained or ran away from the battlefield. But if Arjun ran away, it would be noticed and talked about because he was a well-known hero. Dishonor is worse than death for one who has hitherto held in high esteem by all persons, great and ordinary. They would circulate all kinds of stories, each one creating his own version. People, including children, would talk and joke about the cowardice of Arjuna. If Arjuna cared for dharma, he should not leave the battlefield. If he left, he would incur sin. Even if he did not care about incurring punyam and papam, and even if he did not care about his own dharma, but cared only for his name and fame, the loss of honor would be worse than death, because no Kshatriya hero can ever live in dishonor. So Krishna says in very clear terms and inspires Arjuna to act upon according to the dharma of Kshatriya, fighting this evil war, fighting these evil persons. Bhayadranadu paratam mansante tva maharathaha eshanchatvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. The great warriors like Karna, Duryodhana and others who are Maharathis would think that you ran away from the battlefield out of fear, and now you would be scorned by those very people who thought very highly of you earlier. Avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantastava samarthyam tado dukkhatarnu kim. And your enemies would say many unspeakable words, making fun of you and your prowess. What could be a greater sorrow than that? The Lord continues to paint a gloomy picture for Arjuna. You may think of retiring to a corner of Himalayas, leaving it to the god or chance to provide you with food. But people who come there for pilgrimage, recognizing you sitting under a tree, will remember you as a useless fellow, a chicken-hearted, spineless creature. If you were an ordinary soldier, no one except your wife would know that you had fled from battle. But if you run away, it is not going to be that simple. Your entire army will follow you, and Duryodhana will win this battle without firing a shot. A despot like Duryodhana will see to it that this message is proclaimed to everyone. Seeing the formation of my army, Arjuna ran away from the battlefield, not out of compassion, but out of fear. Like that, Duryodhana will make comment. Therefore, don't let this unmanliness overwhelm you, Arjuna. It does not befit you. It may be acceptable for someone else, but for a Pandava prince it is certainly not. If you run away from your duty, who else will perform it? Stand by your post and do what is expected of you. Give up this weakness of heart. Arise, live up to your title, Parantapa, the destroyer of enemies. Don't disparage your own name or the name of Dharma. Hato va prapsasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim tasmaduttishta kaunteya yuddhaya kritanishchayaha. You wanted to know which is better for you between the two options, whether they conquer us, we conquer them. All right. Listen to what I think is good for you. If you are killed in the battle, you would attain heaven. If you are victorious, you will enjoy sovereignty over earth. Either of the options are good for you. Therefore, O son of Kunti, arise. Be determined to fight. When I say arise and fight, don't forget that you are acting on my behalf, not for your own sake. You have been created for this purpose in my cosmic plan, and you are only fulfilling that purpose. Personally, you don't have anything to do with these things. Here the Lord begins speaking about the path of Karma Yoga. Sukhadukke same kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddha yujyasva naivam papam vapsasi. Arjun, be ready to fight treating alike happiness and sorrow and their causes, which are gain and loss, victory and defeat, then you will not incur sin afterwards. The Lord explains to him, Arjun, you said earlier that if you engage in this war, you will be forced to kill Bhishma, Drona and others, which will only get you sin. This is not true. The Lord explained earlier to Arjun the principles of Sankhya Yoga. Yoga is the path of Atma Jnanam. Sankhya Shastra says, you are not the body-mind complex, you are the Atman in the body-mind complex. The nature of Atman is Chidananda. Atman is indestructible. If death of his relatives is all the reason for Arjuna's objection to this war, he could feel easy and get ready to engage in the war, because none of them will ever die. There is no death to the self. No one can kill the self, not even Ishwar. Their bodies only die. One should not mourn for the death of the body, because the real person is not the body. Bhishma, for instance, is not his body. He is a self residing in his body. Self is not manifest. One cannot see the self to know who he is and what are his lakshanas, characteristics. One could come to know the self only through inquiry into what you are. Through inquiry only, a Sankhya yogi who is a naturally contemplative person comes to know that he is no other than the self. For one who is not a naturally contemplative person, this inquiry is not possible. His mind and buddhi are not steady enough for effective contemplation. Arjun, being a war, is not a naturally contemplative person. Arjun viewed the war in terms of victory and defeat. Weighing the pros and cons in terms of gain and loss, he argued that if he waged this war, he was sure to cause the death of all his relatives, but at the same time he was not also sure that he would win the war. He was not willing to see his relatives die to no purpose. The price is too dear for an uncertain result. If he retreats from the war at this stage, he knew that he would lose his reputation, which is worse than death for a Kshatriya prince. Observing that he is not reaching Arjun, based on the principles of Sankhya Yoga, the Lord now priced the principles of Karma Yoga, shifting the discussion deftly into the plane of action with which Arjun is more familiar and comfortable. So Lord Krishna says, Arjun, you are being a man of worldly wisdom. You would really appreciate that you can only do what is in your control. Action alone is in your control, but not its result. You are a Kshatriya prince. Your Swadharma is to uphold law and order and protect those who follow Dharma. To do that, you must engage in this war and accept the result when it comes cheerfully as a prasad from the Lord. This is Karma Yoga. The attitude of Karma Yoga leads to Antakarana Shuddhi, purification of the heart. When the mind is free from raga dvesh, hatred and aversion, likes and dislikes, the person views all opposites such as gain and loss, victory and defeat, etc. alike. The Lord continues, I am not seeking you to fight because of any animosity against Kauravas. Do not also fight for the sake of ragadveshas like Duryodhan. Instead, you fight against ragadvesha. You fight for dharma and against adharma. Arjun, engage in this war like a karma yogi. Do what should be done. When you fight a war as a matter of duty, without concern for its outcome, without concern for victory and defeat, you do not incur any sin. On the other hand, running away from your duty invites sin besides ruining your reputation. Life is a series of waves, series of ups and downs. When one is tossed over these waves, he must keep afloat by skillful surfing, handling skillfully the crests and troughs of life. Equanimity in the midst of gain and loss, victory and defeat, etc., enables one to handle the crests and troughs of life with ease and comfort. Equanimity is Karma Yoga. Eshate bihita sankhye buddhir yoge tumam shrunu buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Arjun, so far I taught you this knowledge known as Atma Tattvam, which is also known as Sankhya. Now listen carefully to Karma Yoga, which I am about to teach you. Endowed with this knowledge about Karma Yoga, you will be able to liberate yourself from the shackles of karma. In this chapter called Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya is the predominant topic, although other topics also are introduced briefly. The Lord concluded his short discourse on Sankhya Yoga to Arjuna from Shloka 11 to 30 and commenced the teaching of Karma Yoga from Shloka 39. When there is a goal, it means you are managing your activity, you are giving it a direction and a focus. When you have moksha as your goal, you take to a lifestyle that will get you there. There are only two managed lifestyles of prayerful living that would take you in the direction of moksha. One is the path of renunciation, Sankhya Yoga or Sannyas. The other is the path of action, Karma Yoga. Both seek the same goal, which is moksha. These two paths may be different, but their goal is identical. Sankhya Yoga is intended for the introverted, the internally active persons who are naturally contemplative. If you are a naturally contemplative person, you fit into the path of renunciation. The introverts go into themselves to discover who they are. To know oneself is Sankhya. To know that you are the self, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Brahman, is the objective of Sankhya Yoga. Yoga is the committed pursuit of knowledge needed to gain moksha. Sankhya Yoga leads to moksha, freedom, but it does not gain moksha for you. No path can gain you moksha. Only knowledge gives moksha. The Sankhya Shastra says that you are the Atman, you are not the body. The body is subject to birth and death. The Atman which dwells as a self in the body is unborn and indestructible. When the body dies, the self does not die. There is no death to the self. The Jiva, which is the Atman with the body, keeps on taking bodies one after the other until it discovers that it is the Atman and not the body. There is only one Atman, the same Atman dwells in all bodies. There is no difference between the Jiva and the Paramatman. This is self-knowledge. One can attain the self-knowledge through Karma Yoga also. Self-knowledge is moksha. Moksha means freedom, freedom from karma and janma. Karma Yoga is better suited to the extroverted, the externally active persons whose forte is not contemplation. The extroverts are driven to action by their likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes transform into raga dvesh. Raga is wanting and dvesha is not wanting. Doing karma with a prayerful attitude for self-purification is yoga. Karma Yoga. Doing karma for any other result binds you to samsara. Samsara is the repeated cycles of birth, death, rebirth. For the Karma Yogi, Dharma is Ishwar, and therefore Dharma is very important to him. His actions always conform to Dharma. The Karma Yogi is a holy man of exemplary self-control, considering himself as a humble servant of the Lord. The Karma Yogi performs karma with a prayerful attitude. He performs every karma as an offering to the Lord. He offers the karma and its result to the Lord. This is called Ishvararpana Buddhi. The fruits, however, do not stop fructifying merely because you offer them to the Lord. When you perform a karma, a result for you is certain. Also, every karma yields a result to the karta only. The result is not transferable, even if the transferee is the Lord. The Karma Yogi accepts whatever result that comes to him cheerfully as prasad, a blessing from the Lord, which is called prasad buddhi. The Karma Yogi has ragadveshas. Karma driven by ragadveshas becomes binding. Therefore, The Karma Yogi resists being driven by his Raga Dvesha. He is keen to get rid of his Raga Dvesha and attain Antakarana Shuddhi. He strives to perform all karma therefore with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi and accept cheerfully all results with Prasada Buddhi. When there are no more Raga Dveshas, the mind becomes non-reactive and contemplative. Knowledge of the self freely flows into a non-reactive and contemplative mind. There is nothing in the mind which opposes the flow of knowledge. The immediate objective of the karma yoga is the attainment of Antakarana Shuddhi, leading to equanimity. Equanimity is reacting to all experiences with Samabuddhi. Samabuddhi enables the karma yogi to transcend opposites such as joy and grief, gain and loss, success and failure, victory and defeat, etc. The ultimate objective of karma yoga is moksha, which is also the objective of Sankhya yoga. The ultimate goal of karma yoga is gaining moksha, which is the knowledge of the Atman. The Lord is asking Arjuna to take to karma yoga so that he can gain moksha, which is the shreyas that Arjuna wanted. Neha vikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasyat dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. In this karma yoga, there is no wastage of effort. There are also no undesirable results. Even a little practice of this karma yoga protects one from the great fear. When you perform karma for its results, it's called kamya karma. Kamya karma binds you to samsara. You are born again and again in samsara to experience the results of the karma. The reason why you perform kamya karma is to satisfy your raga dveshas. Raga dveshas are desires, desire for getting something or desire for getting rid of something. When you pursue desires, you encounter innumerable hurdles. Every time you encounter an obstruction, you are exposed to anxiety and frequently even stress. Most of the time, in spite of giving excellent inputs, you do not succeed in your efforts, which is a waste of effort. Sometimes you may even get results which you may consider undesirable, which is even worse. The karma yogi does not perform karma to produce results in samsara. He performs karma as a yoga only for self-purification and moksha. Therefore, every one of his karmas is performed as an offering to the Lord. The karma as well as its result are offered to the Lord with prayerful attitude. He prays for Antakarana Shuddhi. A prayer never encounters obstructions and it never causes stress to the devotee. Actually, it relieves stress, if any. A prayer is never a waste of effort. A prayer may not get the desired result, but it never gets an undesirable result. Therefore, there is no wastage of effort, nor an undesirable result in karma yoga. Karma yoga is an attitude. In karma yoga, you perform karma with Ishvarpana Buddhi and cheerfully accept all results when they come with Prasada Buddhi. This attitude leads to Antakarana Shuddhi. Antakarana Shuddhi is guaranteed. Here, the question of wastage of effort and an undesirable result do not arise at all. Karma motivated by Raga Dvesha brings karma phal, to experience which you are born again. Thus, karma is the reason why you are born in samsara. When you take birth in samsara again, you perform karma once again, and because of this karma you are born once more time. This karma birth iteration could replicate itself endlessly. Life in samsara is never a bed of roses. It has its ups and downs, mostly downs, unfortunately. But more than that, every time you are born in samsara, you have to die. Birth is the cause of death. Once born, death is certain. In fact, death is the only certain thing in any life. There is no escape from death. The very thought of death frightens people. People go to any extent to prolong their lives by as little as a day, even though they know that death is inescapable. Once caught up in samsara, one has to face death in every one of the innumerable janmas and one takes, and deal with the trauma of death in every one of those innumerable janmas. Samsara therefore is dreaded because of the fear of death. This is the great fear in samsara. Karma Yoga brings antakarana shuddhi followed by moksha. Moksha means liberation from samsara. In other words, when you gain moksha, you don't take birth anymore, which means that you do not return to samsara. Hence, when you gain moksha, you are liberated from the great fear of death. This is how Karma Yoga protects one from the great fear in samsara. Once you have started living a life of Karma Yoga, you will be commencing a different journey. With this attitude, you will be reversing the direction of your life. This new direction takes you towards moksha. Once you started the reverse process, there is nothing to stop. Nothing to stop you, no matter how many obstacles come your way. If you do not complete the journey in this lifetime, you will complete it in the next janma. The very fact that you have reversed the process shows that you are well on your way to moksha. The journey is all but over. Thus the attitude called Karma Yoga, even in a small measure, protects you from the great fear, which is the great fear of death in samsara. Even a little practice of this dharma protects one from great fear. That's a great advantage of yoga practice. With an understanding of theory and principle, even a little practice won't be wasted and will never cause adverse effects. Suppose you construct a house, you build the walls and then say, I have spent all my money, I don't have enough to put on the roof. All the energy used to build the walls is wasted. It is the same with all worldly things. If you begin, you have to go to the very end to get the benefit. But in the yoga practice, it is different. Even if you practice Hatha Yoga postures and breathing for one day, at least you will be relaxed on that day. It is like eating. Even if you eat on just one day, at least you will take care of that day. It won't go to waste. That's why Lord Krishna says that even a little bit is good. Try it. If you like it, take more. No bad after effects, like poisonous drugs that leave ill effects. Vyavasayatmaka buddhi ekeha kurunandana bahushaka hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. If your mind is unsteady and wandering, many branched and endless are the thoughts and choices. When your mind is clear and one-pointed, there is only one decision. Lord Krishna addresses Arjuna about the difference between the people of firm and infirm mind. It's very simple. For the firm mind, there is only one decision. But for the infirm mind, many branched and endless are the decisions. He uses a beautiful Sanskrit word, Vyavasayam, for a firm mind. Vyavasayam in Sanskrit means agriculture. To reap the harvest, a cultivator needs a firm mind with one conviction, that by doing such and such I will harvest this much. With such conviction, it does everything towards fulfillment. A good cultivator never changes midway. He doesn't prepare this soil, then sow seeds somewhere else. Nor will he sow the seed and then say, I don't have time to take care of it. He continuously uses his effort until he reaches his goal. That's what is meant by a firm mind. So often we come across a fleeting type of mind. People with such minds don't stick to one thing. They choose one, then their minds soon become dissipated. Something that is worth obtaining won't come overnight. Rome was not built in a day. A seeker needs a firm conviction. My goal is very high. It's the highest goal that once achieved will make me active, will make me achieve everything else. As the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, all else will be added unto you. Having that big goal, we can't expect results overnight. A firm-minded seeker says, I have to give all my effort, total one-pointedness, with unwavering mind. The seeker will certainly achieve what he or she wants. But the others constantly change. If something brings a little irritation or is a little difficult, they say, let me leave it. I will try something else. It may be easier and cheaper. They keep on switching. It is like digging many shallow wells and not finding water. Lord Krishna clearly gives the difference between these two kinds of people. With a firm mind, there is only one decision or one goal. Actually, there is no difference in goals between two firm-minded people. This is important to know. You are convinced of the highest goal. Another person is also convinced. Both are firm-minded. In that firmness, the end is one and the same. The people who solve a mathematical problem will always find the same answer for that simple problem. There is only one right answer, but there can be many wrong answers. For the infirm mind, there are many wrong answers. They try something, and when it's no good, they erase it, try again, erase it, try again. But in the firm mind, there is only one conclusion, one answer, one goal that never changes. A sincere seeker should have that total conviction about the goal. Then sadhana, spiritual practice, becomes easier. You are firmly convinced, and with that firm mind you begin. Then nothing will stop you. Imagine a fisherman who really wants to catch a fish. He is in a small boat in the middle of the lake. It is raining, chilly and windy. He casts his line and keeps his eyes only on that. Nothing disturbs him. Just to catch a little fish, how much he foregoes. He could be sitting comfortably at home in any easy chair, but he wouldn't catch a fish that way. For a simple thing, one needs so much concentration. When you keep a keen eye on the goal you want, when you keep a keen eye on the goal, you won't think of bodily difficulties. However much physical suffering is there, it doesn't matter. You won't even think of eating. You won't even sleep. People might say many about you. Some might tease you. Some will say you are wasting your time. But you won't listen to those things. No one can move you from your purpose. Leave that and come on. There is something nice on television, a good movie. But you say, no, I am catching a fish. I won't budge an inch until I do. Such a person is a true fisherman. For others, it is just a hobby. They don't catch it, they think it's too much, forget it. You see the difference between the firm mind and the infirm mind. Arjun, with reference to this moksha, there is one single pointed and well ascertained understanding. The buddhi of those who lack discrimination is many branched and innumerable indeed. You are the Atman, Atman is Brahman, but you do not know that you are Brahman. You are under delusion. Delusion is ignorance. Ignorance will go only when knowledge unfolds. This knowledge is self-knowledge. Once this knowledge takes place, you are released from all limitations. You are already the Brahman. You do not become Brahman after this knowledge takes place. This knowledge only removes the avidya covering the mind, which made you think all along that you are the body. The mind has to be prepared for knowledge to take place. This preparation is done through Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga brings Antakarana Shuddhi. When the Raga Dveshas are eliminated, the mind becomes non-reactive and contemplative, and it is ready to receive knowledge. Karma Yoga eliminates Raga Dvesha and gives Antakarana Shuddhi. When Antakarana Shuddhi is there, one can take to sannyas or continue to pursue knowledge as a Karma Yogi without taking to sannyas. No matter. Whether one is a Karma Yogi or a sannyasi, he has to do inquiry with the mind, which has become non-reactive and contemplative as a result of Antakarana Shuddhi. This inquiry is the one that delivers the knowledge, which is moksha. Vyavasaya is clarity with respect to the goal to be achieved and how it is to be achieved. The one who has the Vyavasayatmika Buddhi is able to clearly see that there is one goal, moksha, for all human beings. Buddhi also has to focus on the goal in a single pointed manner. When it becomes the Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, one should be very clear about what he should seek and how. That the goal is clear is half the solution. The person who has this clarity knows What he wants is knowledge. His focus is on knowledge, which is moksha, freedom. Those who do not have Vyavasatmaka buddhi will have wandering minds, which branch off into many channels. Such persons have no clarity and they have no focus. They are not sure of what they want. They start pursuing something, suddenly they find something else more interesting. Their attention branches out into the new interest that fascinated them. Their interest keeps shifting in this manner constantly, from one topic to another. The Karma Yogi has discrimination, Viveka. He is very clear about his goal, which is moksha. He has Vyavasatmaka buddhi, therefore he is out to liquidate his ragadveshas and at the same time pursue knowledge. One doesn't have to wait until all his ragadveshas are liquidated before he takes up the pursuit of knowledge. Both can be done simultaneously. Pursuit of knowledge also helps to an extent in eliminating the ragadvesha. Thus, one can either pursue knowledge while performing karma with the attitude of karma yoga, or take to sannyas and pursue knowledge exclusively. Both would gain moksha, that is for sure. The sannyasi as well as the karma yogi are mumukshus. Mumukshus are those who have moksha as their goal. Karma yogis are mumukshus. They have discrimination. They also have the Vyavasatmaka buddhi. They have the clear understanding of the goal to be pursued, as well as the eka buddhi needed for this. They know that moksha is the only goal that should be pursued. Both karma yogis and sannyasis are very clear that knowledge alone gains moksha. Both have minds that are single pointed. They can focus on what they want. The person who has a well ascertained understanding is clear that karma yoga does not give moksha. He knows clearly and pointedly points out to Arjun to act as a karma yogi so that he can attain antakarana shuddhi. Then he becomes qualified for pursuing knowledge, which ultimately leads to moksha. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched with mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. Own name stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name for that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mind is of prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or ties of fame, as many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou, who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery, may the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free, may good behead all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.